Good morning, everyone. We see the markets had a little bit of a spurt higher on that news jobs report. Still not, well, we'll see where they end. All right. Always the same thing every morning. We see where they're at, we see where they end. Of course, in between, we see what went down. Yeah, so charts should be up now. I'm starting with the bond market because equities are moving up, bonds are going down, which means interest rates are going up. And for the moment, equities don't care. So it's something to keep an eye on. Uh, is it inflation concerns or is things maybe thinking this economy is going to grow more? I don't know, but those are the two reasons, interest rates go up. Um, so this is a pretty nasty reversal. It's a 10-year futures. Uh, it was looked like it was going to roll over and it flipped up and now back down hard. And there's definitely something to be considering for next week as to where this closes. And if it was to close like this, or this bar gets larger, that implies that bonds are going to go down, prices are going to go down, and interest rates are going to go up. And so in the grand scheme of this, year, what we see is kind of an exaggerated head and shoulders type of a top with that huge spike up. But there is this topping tail there. And now this bar, if it should close that way, and then keep an eye on these to see if they break below the neckline next week. So if those interest rates, bonds going down, interest rates going up, we should see that unfolding next week, just based on typical reactions. I mean, if this is heading, back up above 4.5 up toward this high, I think it's going to put some pressure on equity. So this morning, equities don't care. I'm just pointing out, what we do, point out each morning something to keep an eye on that might be not in your focus or radar for the most part. So, that 4.5% is a level, to set an alert and see if it clears it, it gets above or not. All right, back at when markets were focused on interest rates and we saw the 30-year pushing up, it came down here. And so about mortgages and so on, but these move pretty much together, to varying degrees. So as you can see, the 30 years pushing up as well. There's resistance there. We'll see if it gets through it or not, set an alert, and we'll see how it all unfolds. Talk of the Fed lowering. We don't have a breakdown yet in the 13 week. So while that is talk, we don't have evidence of the market truly believing it yet, but it's really not moving one way or another. So set alerts and see what happens. All right, gaps. So gaps of significance, if they open here, there's still 25 minutes to go, of course. But yesterday, things sold off after poking above the highs and they came down real hard. And whether that was Trump Musk news, little infighting, bickering there. Tesla got creamed. And so we got this down bar. And now, news driven market, it's gapping up to about the open of yesterday's bar there. So again, we'll just see if it can hold on to the gains here. In essence, I was really hopeful that we were going to get it the move up, right? That was the theme at the beginning of the week, and we got the beginning of a move up, and then it was like, okay, we want things to accelerate, and they began to, and the news drove it back down. So news-driven market, now it's gapping up, and we'll see where it ends the day. I was saying European yields ripped yesterday. France, yeah. Well, the markets have been going up stronger than ours. But, We'll see if that's going to change in the second part of this year. In any event, we got this gap up today, and overall prices are a little bit higher than they were almost 3 weeks ago, but not far from where they were. A lot of jiggling around here. Transport's doing nothing. The Dow having done nothing. I guess it's up a little bit as well. We'll take a look at the others. Hold on. I don't even have the diamonds don't show us too much pre-market, but let's take a look. Yeah, they're up there. Yeah, gapping near the high of yesterday's bar. So, but considering these gaps and the sideways consolidation that's been going on here, this should be a gap and go, right? How long can it go sideways? If it gaps up and it comes back down into the range, I think at that point buyers start to think about throwing in the towel because, technically, clearly this is a positive open. It's been going sideways, you're gapping above a red bar. And so it should be a gap and go. So that's the thinking. And now we're going to see what actually happens. And if it doesn't gap and go and it gaps and craps, I think it's finished at that point. All right. Dow futures up 300, no big deal, sideways. NASDAQ futures up 170, no big deal. Overall sideways. Can it hold on to the gain? S&P's same deal, all right? Sideways, sideways, sideways. Not a big deal. And Russell. Well, it's not even close to the close, but at this point, this was closing above the range and it gave it up. Now it's potentially closing above the range. We'll see. So far, it's holding on to the gains. Could care less what the bond market's doing. And we'll just have to see if that continues. Gold looked like it was going to take off. And it gave it back yesterday. So far, just consolidating up here at the top of a wide range bar. Not doing much of anything. Silver, this was by the breakout earlier in the week. It continues to push higher and it has room to go higher. Sure, it's getting a little extended in the short term, but clearly money has shifted. And after a long time of trying to get it going, eventually, now it is going. There should be buyers on pullbacks. Crude oil still knocking on the door to push up, unable to do it. And just another market that's just chopping sideways. Bitcoin looks like it could be the makings of a breakdown failure. Right? Again, we have to see where this closes. And so, in the MT Live on Wednesday, we talked about patterns like this. And we looked at one in First Solar, which as of yesterday, it didn't trigger. But the pattern, this is in an uptrend and it's pulling back relatively deep. It breaks down and suggests it's going to go lower down to the 50, right? So, if this was to turn into a topping tail today, that would reaffirm the bias of this breakdown red bar and would increase the probability of going down. Whereas if it continues to inch up and it closes up here, that's going to be supportive of a long bias for Bitcoin. Of course, the other stocks that trade with it, but just if you weren't in MT Live Wednesday, FSLR, here you go. So it's up here a little bit, but that's the pattern, right? It came down a deep retracement breakdown, and then reversal. So a little downside shakeout. All right. Still inching up and up at the top of the red bar. So we know where it's at. And I already checked the numbers. The bottom number did not move. Right. So still based on the lack of movement after the down move, right? Things are up here this morning and the strike is still the same as yesterday. Maybe it's 10 by now. I don't know, that it's moving up a little bit. But this came down. The top came down yesterday. So again, a little bit more of a tightening, and it's up here. It's in the middle of the range. Any other economic news coming out today? Or are we done? Let me just check. Here, this. You don't want to be blindsided. 10 o'clock, there's Fed Bowman speaking. Oh, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So look for in the first 5 or 10 minutes, what's the highest volume strike? And yesterday was 6,000, which it just got up to, and then just peaked. You can see, just peaked. Couldn't trigger it. So see what that high volume strike is in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Give us some guidance as to where it might go. And yeah, I should not go back down to the lows here. That would be a big move, but opening here to get up there, right, with that kind of movement, 6,000, that's within striking distance. Right? So again, we'll just see which way things move in the first 5 minutes or so. Right? Well, yours, Dan, is the global bond market is unstable. I think the world is unstable. You know, tariffs, the things that it's dealing with, news items that shake it up intraday or moment to moment. I think that, things are on shaky ground and overall bullish, after, the backing and forth as to Liberation Day to backing off to China, didn't adhere to the agreement, to America didn't adhere to the agreement, to now we're talking and playing nice. It's like, you know, baby time. I don't know. Things crazy for too many years. Maybe this is the process, but um, clearly institutions believe the markets are going to go higher. They're nervous. They're not throwing in the towel. There's these gyrations, um, you know, intraday that overall haven't gone anywhere. And so this is the environment that we're stuck at right now. And so what we're looking for are more breakouts, uh, like FDN, right? So more price action where we get something decisive. This was a pick in the ETF letter, which is moving up. And even though it's got a little topping tail, it's constructive. It's got a larger weekly bar, whereas many of the other ones are more indecisive. So more price action of, sectors, SMHs are up at resistance, but holding up. And if you were to see this more decisively breaking out, retailing and so on, you have more things coming together to support at least things, moving up, and maybe markets making a new all-time high before, they pull in again. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Good morning. Happy Zero DTE Day. Friday. We'll be looking at the usual suspects, earnings, anything. I posted a few new trades. We are 100%, all of our trades are bullish, with the exception of WCN. We're in trail mode, stop yesterday's high. All right, cappers here. McDonald's alarm, I gave that as a call spread breakdown. MA's rolling over, price void. So that's good to go if you get filled. Quattro, we've been in since this bullish turn. I had my 91 alarm went off. I see one print up there, but not much volume. PBI alarm, bull flag, up alarm went off. So maybe 30-minute high. Delta Tango breakout. You can buy 5-minute high if the markets are holding. 8 alpha, I don't know why my alarm went off, but over yesterday's high is a put spread. RSI, I posted, beautiful breakout and buy setup. See, this is a fantastic example of you don't buy a breakout. I mean, the textbooks will say that's a breakout because it took out, trading range, took out prior resistance. But we don't buy from the bottom to the top. We wait for bullish price action at resistance or this buy setup on support. So I was actually bidding pre-market. It had a big spread. I was bidding 1250. Surely not going to get filled. Well, I can't say surely, but I'm not yet. But that looks fantastic. I just had an RSI alarm go up. Oh, there's my RSI. I just had an alarm go up at 1280. All right. Uber, right, Alex? Alarm went off. Now, why was I looking at this? I don't know. That's I'm not interested in that. Oh, it was in the news that that Uber and Lyft and Dash settled a lawsuit with some state. Oh shoot, Greg, I just tried to log into Restream. Okay, there it is. It's making me log in again. Shoot, Greg, I logged in and it's not showing me your today's session. So I'm not in Restream today. Shoot. Was it asking Mike Alpha? Yeah, I like the gap breakout now. So yes. Yeah. Bullish daily weekly. Looks good. Put on the list. I think I was looking at this yesterday or Visa, one of the two. I think Visa because it was in the Dow 30. And I was seeing what was moving. But yeah, MA looks superior. G alarm. We shorted this yesterday. It's gapping down. So that is a wonderful sign of relative weakness. Gapping down as the market's gapping up. So I have a break-even alarm. So I always do that. Just not always, but when it starts to move a little bit, I just put a break-even alarm to. What I tell people, what is an alarm? An alarm is where you want to be alerted to something, right? So just set an alert. So it gives you an opportunity to look at something. All right. And all right, that's all the alarms I got. Let's go to Gappers. I'm sorry, earnings. Abgo. Remember, Don, I was hoping to gap up $10, $15, $20, but it's a different pattern. Now it's gapping down and it's still far from the 20. So I still like it a lot. Oh man, this RSI is moving. That was my favorite swing long. I hate when gaps mess up my beautiful entry. Sal, did I get this from you or somebody else? It was somebody in the green room gave it to me. And I said, yes, they're reading. Yeah, I'll get to this, Thomas. Where was I? Oh, I was gonna put it in a window. All right, Abgo, we gotta watch that. For a zero DTE call spread, IoT. Oh, good, it's bouncing. We sold the 40 naked puts as an earnings trade. That's an ugly gap, but with 99% certainty. If it opens here or higher, of course, after the spreads tighten, we're gonna have a profit. So I'll be looking to get out at the open. Here we go. This was one. This is a grinding. Man, that is a beautiful example of self-correcting uptrend. Let me email that to myself. Or, whenever I see good RB, or whenever I see good examples, that's how we make these MT lives and keep them fresh. So whenever we have a trend MT live, will be the chart of self-correcting uptrend. Look at this nice little breakout failure right there. Mountain alarm, buy setup. This was an earnings trade. I just didn't get to it yet. But this gap up, pull back and turn. So that looks fantastic. I'm going to put that in a window. Mountain. All right, yeah, I have Daku bottom right. It's a nasty gap, but excessive. It's just my label. Excessive gap, 30-minute high, 0 DT put spread. Same with Lulu. Excessive put spread. I got that in here, but we got to monitor it and see when we feel comfortable that the low of the day is going to hold. All right, this gapping down 34. This would have been a good continuation. Inverse head and shoulder. Had it over yesterday's high. Gap down now makes it a call spread if there's any juice. Damn, that's a typo. That shouldn't be here in my earnings. So that's a typo. There's our mountain. I guess. Actually, let me. But I was going to post it to Telegram, but I'll wait. This GES, a big bunch of garbage. AVO, bigger garbage. Fox A. Yeah, definitely. They trade short. Yeah, start off. Yeah, you can, yes. It's a bear 1, 2, 3 from a little M top. Looks good. Day trade. November X-ray gapping up. I like the weekly retest here. And I like the climb on the monthly, so that's worth watching on a pullback. X-ray. That's a big mess. You're going. Zoom Z. You're gapping down. You're a big mess. All right, so there you have it. Got a couple ideas there. So a couple credit spreads. I guess Wolf gapping down is garbage. A couple credit spreads, and then the mountain I like the best. Let's see if it can stabilize. Oscar, these are These are just miscellaneous things now. I was watching this for a put spread. This is one of those healthcare things. Like Humana. Let's see if there's any juice at 14. 15 cents a minute, so no interest. McDonald's we talked about, INVH breakdown. So it's gapping up. If this now were to give it up and take out yesterday's low, it's a breakdown. Surprise, it's gapping up with bond yields rising. Set an alarm at 33. So that goes T10 gapping to oblivion. That's not oblivion. Here, 100. Well, I don't know how you define oblivion. That's it's a big gap percentage wise, but it has a void, so it could go down to 85. So I'm not quite sure what you're thinking. Look at Daku bottom right ripping down. We got 3 minutes to go. We gotta, give earnings trades a few minutes. But no, that's a nasty gap. And then see, when you get excessive gaps, I want them to a significant area of support. So Daku 75, look, it's way down here into the gap fill. So again, I don't know how you're defining oblivion, but this one's more oblivion. Oblivious, whatever the correct grammar is. And same with this. You got multiple levels of support here, but this is a Wall Street love stock. And that's oblivious. All right, continuing here. Semis have been strong. We got another retest pattern here on AMAT. Look at the weekly I like. Big move, little buy setup. Keep an eye on that for put spread. Oh, there's T10 right there. I had it on my list. Right there. ANF we bought yesterday in put spread. Beautiful turn after the igniting gap. So that looks good. Humana, I posted as a call spread under yesterday's low. Kind of a bear flag here. I put declining 20, bearish weekly, monthly. Look at this monthly. Well, it's down a lot, but man, the Trump administration has surely been hurting these stocks. Stravos is saying that the start of time gap. I honestly don't know what that means. Beardo. Been in a coma here. Man, Alex, that is a nasty Bear Island reversal if I've ever seen one. Wow. It's perking up here for some reason. Alex, your SPT from yesterday. I got an alarm up here at 22 and a quarter. And grab. I like weekly monthly. Look at that monthly on grab. And it's kind of a weekly inverse head and shoulder. So let's keep an eye on this, see if it can settle down on the daily. Give us an entry. A tick over 1,300. All right, Mountain now selling off, but we don't care. Alex, CPRT. Still not ready to make because you got these overlapping bars, but it's, we're in no rush. WCN. All right, that stopped out. Go ahead and take the money that we had a third left. I'll do the math later. I'm busy now. Oh shoot, Gillette negated the gap. Now it's back to break. Oh shoot, look, it gapped down here. Now it's back up. The true stop is 4302. So shoot, I thought we had a nice winner on our hands. We're at break even right now, but so the question is, should we kill at break even? And I say no. You know, gapped up halfway into the range, still ugly. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about those pre-market. Yeah, we had an amazing naked puts. We did 1 DTEs, then we did 8 DTE put spread yesterday on that Climo. It was just textbook. I'm curious how many people in the room here did them with, I know Alex and I did. All right, Delta 20 affirm. It's up too much at resistance, not crazy about it. All right, if someone can help me with, it's not ready, but help me with Daku and Lulu. I mentioned McDonald's. Let's wait 5-minute low now. NXT. NXT looks great. We're already in it. If it were to close like this, looks fantastic as an ad. Man, my alarm's going nuts here. A Meadow, man, alarms. It's like singing a song. Look at our Meadow. We only have a third left, but looks great. So that, man, that's an igniting gap on a 15 and hourly chart. Set new alarm higher, 50. New alarm. A alpha. See Netflix coming in hard. Oh, A alpha was a put spread. Netflix. Let's check 0 DTE. All right, this IoT close at 15. So that's another great example of, despite the big nasty gap against us, that's the idea of doing these. They can gap X% away and you still make money. You lose money when it's a catastrophic gap. But that's the game you're playing. It's like when you go to the Wynn Hotel and you create this game, and it's like, okay, the third booth on the left, go over there. And that's where they do that. All right, see.
Did you
Yeah.
raise the stop on ANF yet?
No.
Got that.
Oh, no. I did yesterday to yesterday's low, of course. Yeah. Why? You want it tighter than that? It's not like you.
Gapped up. Maybe you want to sell it half or a third. It's a bottoming pattern. So
We're not up that much. I bought it into 3 different pieces. But I'll set a tight alarm. Our fizzler's up. Bisler looks great still on the daily. We can move up break even now, I think. All right, that mountain that I had high hopes for is going nowhere. Bisler 161. Yeah, I'm pretty behind here. Oh, can someone check Netflix calls for it? I'm busy. One, you're gonna make me do all the work, like always. Yeah, not my style, too far from the 20 TNA. That's like I didn't get breakout. Sure. Oh yeah, I mentioned I liked IWM. So this is a levered small cap. Yeah, yeah, I like this. Sam, just FYI, this is not the TNA that you're thinking it is. I know where your brain is. RSI, we gotta hold off. Sure. Stupid, stupid gap, man. TNA. Yeah, I like TNA. I'm gonna nibble right here and then put some bids out. Shoot, I just want to buy it. Like, there you go. 2 minute 95. Whereabouts? Yeah, I mentioned the other day bottoming pattern. I was looking for a put and there was nothing. Let's buy. Man, I just don't know how much it's gonna go, but I like it. I definitely like it as a put spread. There, 85.50 at those converging MAs. There's no juice. It's only 36 cents. Oh, I gave IWM put spread. IWM looks better than that levered one, Alex, because it's cleared both these resistances. I'm in the other one too, but the pattern looks better to me. Okay. All right. I'm gonna sell some puts and on a pullback. So I gave the two. Wow, they sucked the juice out already. Damn. We're not gonna get filled. Um, it looks good. I just like it to go sideways more. Plug alarm, little bottoming pattern, oxy up alarm. So that had an ugly retracement the other day. Let me reset the alarm. All right, Netflix. Now the all are gonna help me, I guess. Well, that's still a bullish daily though. So I don't know, it's not a no-brainer, particularly with the markets strong. But I'll look anyway. How about 1270, a little bit above the high. There's juice, 1270s or $1.20. Um, it's not ready. I'm just, giving you the numbers to think about for now. 1270, 1290. Midpoint's 102, but it's not ready. And Delta 20 saying PayPal. I'd like it to go sideways more, but I do like the downside shakeout. Delta, we are in XYZ. I like better. It's the cousin because this one's cleared. It's like not going anywhere, but it is bottoming. You just got to pick your spot and stuff. We had a put spread. We made our target yesterday. And I said we would consider a new one. There's not enough juice now for a new one. Shoot. Oh, I haven't even not even looked at my Tesla yet. Wow, I'm up very nicely. That was such an amazing trade. I love those. I sold the 250s for today. Wow, they're still 9 by 10 cents. And I'm gonna, what, I'll bid a penny, but I don't even feel like paying 10 cents right now. But I'm not going to get filled with a penny until way later in the afternoon. You need that intraday time to king. All right, for next week, I did the 160 and 180. I mean, I was freaking out of how juicy it was. It's kind of like the COVID days. You were just mind-boggling how much premium there was. All right, I'll cover these just because we're up so much. I'll cover them 30-minute low, and then look to put them on again at lower prices. The 180s. Wow, I pre-market I said bid 25 cents for half, and they're 30 cents. Man, I was close with my estimate. And Mike Sam, I need an award. I was 3 cents off. Thanks. Now it's bid 20. Now it's bid. All right, 20. Look at that, 3 cents away from my thing. I wish Trump would stay the hell out of it. Still going through alarms here. Yeah, NXT, we're in already. But I said it looked great to add. Let's move stuff. Yesterday's low now, or 56.18. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I got puts and um, I got stock and naked puts. And I got 79 and 77, so it expired today. 77, so I'm gonna bid a nickel just so I don't have to babysit it.